Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the EGR podcast. My name is Robert Simmons. I'm editor of EGR North America. I'm here with 888's Chief Strategy Officer, Vaughan Lewis. Hi, Vaughan. Hello.
Hi, Robert.
Hi. We're here to discuss the performance of 888. It's Sports Illustrated Sportsbook and its bid for William Hill. Vaughan, my first question for you. You joined 888 in April 2021, and obviously 2021 has been a very busy period for the business. But what's been the highlight of the year so far for you, and why?
Sure. I mean, it's been a busy period for the business, been a busy period for the industry more generally. It's an amazing sector, online betting and gaming, always extremely rapid developments in terms of products, in terms of capabilities, channels, regulations, and more recently we've just seen this massive escalation in M&A. So obviously that's been one of the sort of main focuses for me since I joined. But from a personal perspective, I've known this business since 2004, 2005 when it listed. A lot of the team are actually still the same there. Amazing duration of team, huge amount of talent at the company, and that sort of real base of knowledge and history and culture in the business. So joining that business in a period of COVID when it's been doing everything over Zoom and getting to know people and trying to integrate myself into the business has been a real challenge, but a really positive one. And now we're kind of back in the office and getting to see people in the real world. It's great to be part of the team that's sort of creating the next stage for 888 as a business. So I guess it's a really exciting stage for 888. We're really excited about the combination with William Hill and the potential for that. Our strategy is built around product leadership and differentiation, regulated market growth, expansion into the US, and really bringing our kind of skills and capabilities and assets into that market. Really zoning in on safer gambling and making our products as safe as possible, and then M&A to kind of accelerate the growth into those markets where we think there's a really attractive growth opportunity. So in a short space of time to sort of get to grips with all of that, and then obviously the William Hill transaction. It's been fantastic to be part of this sort of real rapid transformation in 888 as we build the business up to the next stage.
Sure. And you mentioned the William Hill transaction, obviously a very big deal for the business. The CEO, 888 CEO Itai Pasner, described the deal as a transformational one. But I wanted to ask you what you thought of it from a strategic perspective. What does it mean to you?
So, I mean, there's no doubt that it's a transformational transaction. If you think about these businesses, William Hill's roughly double the size of 888. So we're sort of tripling the size of the business with the combination. From a sports betting perspective, growing about 5 times from where 888 is today. So really, it's sort of definition of a transformational transaction. Strategically, it really sort of ticked all the boxes that we were looking at for an M&A transaction. So one of the first things we did when I started was build a strong internal team to map out the growth opportunities for the company. What do the end markets look like? Really data-driven, real deep analysis in terms of where we operate, where we do well, why we do well there. What are the factors behind sustainable success? And how can we build a plan that builds us, consistent, strong returns on our investment? One of the things that became really clear on that is that we want to be bigger scale, we want bigger market positions in those key attractive end markets where we're already in and where there's really attractive growth potential. So markets like UK, Spain, Italy, coming online, Germany, coming online, the Netherlands, Romania. So these markets are really attractive in terms of their long-term dynamics. And that combination with William Hill just really boosts us in terms of our market position in those markets, and brings together a really iconic sports betting brand with William Hill and one of the strongest global gaming brands with 888, as well as a really good challenger brand on the gaming side with Mr. Green. So combining all of those capabilities together really lays a really strong foundation for continued growth. It builds a much stronger position in those attractive end markets where we really want to focus our investment and where we think we'll deliver consistent outsized returns.
Sure. And one of 888's ambitions is to become a truly omni-channel operator. And obviously this William Hill deal will enable that ambition to be realized. But how much of the firm's ongoing planning is focusing on delivering on this objective?
Yeah, I mean, look, 888 has never had any retail business, right, and no focus on it. And I think it's fair to say, organically, that wouldn't have been part of the plan to expand into retail. William Hill, the opposite. You know, it's sort of history is as a retail business, and for the William Hill brand, that high street footprint is a really key part of the brand, key part of the customer proposition. We did a huge amount of work on the retail business to understand, the strengths, weaknesses, the challenges, and we got really comfortable with the way it's run, the quality of the team in there. I go to betting shops quite a lot. I'm quite an enthusiastic horse racing punter, and trying out, a lot of the shops around here. I don't know this area well, where my office is, and one's near a home that I do know well. You get this really consistent quality service, really engaging team that look after you. So it's a really strong point for the William Hill brand to have that distribution. And I think there are some really big opportunities in the omni-channel side in terms of unifying the experience between retail and online, bringing in some more technology to make the customer experience better. So that our plan as a business is to be a global online betting and gaming leader, with the retail part really supporting that ambition, and being a complementary piece, and really filling out the consumer proposition for UK betting.
Okay. And 888 is one of the few firms that has its own in-house platform. I wanted to ask you, what for you are the benefits of having 888's platform in-house rather than being outsourced?
Yeah, 888 by DNA and history and heritage is a technology business. That's how it's grown up. That's been the foundations of how it's created and how it's succeeded over time. And I think having that proprietary technology, the control of the roadmap and of the customer, the full control of the customer experience, allows the business to create really differentiated products, to respond more quickly to changing regulations, to changing customer preferences, to changing markets that are available to place bets or game on. So it's really important, I think, for the business to have that proprietary technology and that capability to provide best-in-class product experiences. So in 888 we have really clearly defined product principles built around safety, usability, content richness, entertainment and scalability, and through that we kind of deliver the best possible product that we can to our consumers. And by doing that, we can engage more customers, we can make the experience better for them so they keep coming back. And we're really looking forward to working with William Hill's team, who've got similar sort of principles and a similar approach, to make sure that we're creating really unique and differentiated content and products for our customers. So one sort of quick example of this where we can really differentiate is on the new 888 Sport app that was rolled out at the beginning of this year in the UK, and last year in some other markets. So we've got a great product called BetFeed, and what this does is take real-time data and having the proprietary technology at the back end allows us to access that data in real time. So we're looking at what people are betting on, and the popular things that people are betting on right now, we can then present those to people and say, this is what people are engaging with right now. So it makes it much more of a real-time feed, a bit like Twitter. You can feel part of the community, engage in what's the popular events right now, and that type of product is really only available if you've got the capability to access and deal with that real-time data, and then to convert that into a quality user experience and a unique product like that. So it's really important for us, and ultimately it's around our product leadership plan and delivering the best possible and safest products to our players.
Okay. And obviously 2022 is a big year for both 888 and the UK gambling industry as a whole, with the potential for the Gambling Act review. I wanted to ask you for your thoughts on that whole Gambling Act review process and how you approach it from a strategic perspective.
Yeah, it's obviously been a big focus for us and the whole industry over the course of the last few years. There's been a huge amount of change. So there's a lot that the industry has done, things like the whistle-to-whistle advertising ban. There's a lot that the Gambling Commission has changed already, things like banning credit cards, reduction in spin speed, removal of autoplay. So there's been a huge amount that's publicly visible that people have changed. And then behind the scenes, there's been a massive amount that operators have done in terms of raising their thresholds and player protections and using the data that we have about players, about how they engage with the games, to create an environment that is constantly getting safer and safer. And I think our approach to it is to collaborate as much as we can across the industry to understand what are the real markers of harm. How do we understand if a player is showing signs of getting into difficulties, and make sure that we're using the research and data and insight from across the industry and across academic research to put as many protections in as we can. What we want as operators and what we want as 888 is to have a long-term engagement with our customers and to create an environment where they enjoy playing with us. They know what they're spending. They know how much time they're spending with us. They're not spending more than they can afford in either time or money, and they keep coming back to us because it's a great product, it's safe, it's fair, and it's fun. So I think we've been engaging with the BGC, with other operators across the industry, to try and explain, what we're doing and the level of protections and thresholds that we're putting in, and we're hopeful, that the industry dynamic is moving more towards that kind of evidence-based approach where everyone's working towards the same goal, which is let's do what we can in terms of the data and our insight to stop people spending too much. And for people that are enjoying their time and enjoying betting and enjoying gaming, let's make it easy for them to continue to enjoy that. So yeah, that's our approach. We made a big submission to the formal process, and we're looking forward to further engagement on that, and continuing to use technology and data to make the industry safer and safer over time.
Great. Turning now to European matters, obviously Germany and Holland have been very big on a lot of the gambling industry radar. These are markets where expansion into them has come at a price in terms of lost revenues. I wanted to ask you for your thoughts on whether these markets would ultimately prove worthwhile for 888 and just in terms of your strategic ambitions in that area.
Yeah, I mean, they're great examples of sort of newly regulated markets where the long-term potential is really attractive. I think, both the Netherlands and Germany, big populations, quite high disposable income, high propensity to engage in betting and gaming, strong interest in sport, strong interest in gaming, high digital penetration, fully regulated markets now, so real clarity about what you can and can't do. So for us, these are really attractive markets with strong long-term potential. The 888 brand resonates well in these markets. We know what player behaviour is like. We know what customers enjoy. So yeah, we're fully licensed in Germany sports now. We're rolling out the 888 sports brand. We're applying for a license in the Netherlands, and we're aiming to launch there next year. So yeah, these are both sort of key markets where we see really good growth potential.
Okay, and turning across the Atlantic to the US, which is obviously a big expansion area for 888 over the last year. In July, you concluded a partnership with Sports Illustrated, that iconic US magazine brand, aimed at serving as a springboard for a greater US push. Why was it so important for the firm to have the right strategic partner in the US market?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you called it an iconic brand, because it really is, and for us over here in Europe, we're sort of a bit less familiar with it, but in the US, it's it's such a historical sports brand. People grow up with it, they know it, they understand it, they trust it, and it's got a huge history in sports content. So for us, the partnership is really incredibly powerful. It brings in our kind of assets, so our technology, our products, our operational capabilities, our digital marketing, and combines that with an American iconic brand that's known, that's trusted, and that has huge distribution. So across the SI properties, there's tens of millions of monthly unique users. We're creating really seamless user journeys, so that SI Sportsbook becomes part of the SI experience. So rather than having to go out and build a brand and create kind of brand messages, we've got one already. The SI is there, it exists, it has a really clear brand, it has a really clear footprint, and we're tailoring our products and offers to those SI consumers. So that combination of a really powerful brand with our kind of technology and operating skills creates a really strong platform for the US.
Sure. And you launched initially in Colorado. I wanted to ask you how that Colorado launch had gone and which states you plan to launch into next.
Yeah, good question. I mean, we signed the deal in June, and we launched in September. So it's an incredible effort by the tech team, the licensing team, payments, everything to get through to that launch so quickly from signing. Technically, everything's been great. It's still very early days, right? We only launched at the beginning of September, so we're learning a lot as we go along. But the technical performance has been fantastic. As we all know, Colorado is a very competitive market, so we're not one of the first movers there. We're competing with some of the big established brands. But we've been really pleased with how it's going, and that really testing and learning there sets the platform for future state rollouts over the coming months and years. So overall, yeah, really pleased with the rollout.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And the US market has largely been sewn up with FanDuel, DraftKings, and BetMGM collectively carving out a 75% market share. SI Sportsbook, in comparison, is a relative newcomer to the market, and it's going to be a massive challenge for you guys to kind of carve out your own niche. Given these factors, do you feel confident that you can realistically compete with the big boys?
Look, we have a slightly different strategy to the big guys, right? So they're creating those standalone brands, mass market advertising, huge brand spend. We have a big iconic brand partner, that's already very well known. ABG, that owns the brand, are investing heavily across multiple other different verticals with the SI brand. So every time they expand into hotels and tickets and sports bars, that gives us more points of distribution and more brand recognition for SI. So our approach is much more focused on leveraging that asset, the SI brand awareness, and bringing in our great kind of products, our differentiated in-house sportsbook and some of the really unique stuff that we can do with that, and then creating tailored experiences for SI consumers that are as seamless as possible. So ideally, they shouldn't think that they're playing with someone else. It should feel and look and be like you're just playing with SI. So it's a different strategy than the big guys. We're not sort of planning to get up to 20-25% market share and compete at that end. It's a much more targeted and we think for us more appropriate and more profitable strategy for our business.
Okay, that's a great answer. Thank you. One final question to finish, and fairly simple one. What are your main strategic goals for 2022?
I thought you said a simple one.
Well,
I mean, the number one priority is the William Hill transaction and completing that, and setting up the process for integration and making sure that we're you know, working alongside all the great talent from their side and building the foundation for future growth. I think, you know, for both of us, there's a lot of similarities in terms of the strategy at William Hill and at 888. We'll be working with their team to sort of align those and create you know, a unified approach and make sure that we're supporting our combined growth plans. You know, I'd say probably the three probably key things then are just great products, so continuing to advance and enhance our product leadership plan, great customer experience, so understand our customers as much as we can, deliver them great service, great experiences, and then deploy that across this portfolio of really strong brands that we'll have. So, you know, 888 already, SI Sportsbook, and then next year William Hill as well, and Mr. Green. So if we can get that combination right, you know, great products and experiences, great customer service and experience, and those really powerful suite of brands, then that's a really strong platform for strong growth and for market share gains.
Excellent. Great answer to a very complex question, as it turned out. Those are all my questions, Vaughan. Do you have any closing remarks before we wind up?
No, I mean, you know, thanks for setting this up, and yeah, no, it's been an incredibly busy year, and it's, you know, it's nice to sort of reflect on that and start thinking about what's still to come next year. So thanks a lot for
absolutely, that's great. Thanks very much, Vaughan. Thanks very much. That's been the EGR podcast. Thanks very much. Goodbye.